Devotion to the Holy Face, Part 2. Chapter 1. Let's begin by discussing the origins of the veils and burial cloths of Christ to better understand the images we are adoring. The images of Christ. There are many ancient burial cloths that exist in Europe which are consistent with the Jewish burial customs of those times. Yet only 3 ancient cloths exist that depict an image of Jesus. These ancient image-bearing cloths include the Veil of Veronica, the Shroud of Turin, and the Man of Menopause. The Veil of Veronica. This is a reproduction of the true holy face of our Lord Jesus Christ, known as the Veil of Veronica. It was reproduced in large numbers in the 1800s by the Vatican and distributed across Europe. The Vatican granted these drawings, often printed on silk and stamped with the official Vatican seal, all the privileges granted to the actual Veil of Veronica itself. In 33 AD, Saint Veronica was present at the Passion of Christ when Jesus carried his cross to Calvary. Jesus had already suffered a scourging and other tortures in the Praetorium before beginning this journey. When Jesus fell beneath the weight of the cross for the first time, Simon of Cyrene was enlisted to carry the cross of Jesus. At this moment, Saint Veronica courageously broke through the crowd of Roman soldiers and offered her veil of fine Egyptian linen to Jesus to wipe his bruised, blood-stained face. Jesus rewarded Veronica's act of love by returning her veil to her, infused with his own sacred countenance. This was a gift Jesus gave not only to Veronica, but ultimately to all of us. Veronica's act of love is permanently etched in the 6th station of the cross in Catholic doctrine. How did the Vatican come in possession of the Veil of Veronica? Tradition says that at the advice of St. Peter, Veronica entrusted her veil to St. Clement, a disciple of St. Peter and the 3rd successor to the See of Rome. Ever since, the Veil of Veronica has remained in Rome. It is stored in St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican. The miracle of the veil. In 1849, Pope Pius IX ordered public prayer be offered in all churches in Rome to implore God's mercy amid revolution and the exile of the Holy Father to Gaeta, Italy. As part of this effort, Veronica's veil was allowed to be exposed for veneration at St. Peter's Basilica on January 6th from 12 noon to 3 p.m. The image of our Lord's face on Veronica's veil, which was somewhat faded, became transfigured, and the features of Jesus became very distinct and appeared lifelike. Surrounding and emanating from the image was a soft halo glow of light, response to the miracle. At the sight of the miracle, a canon of the basilica ordered the bells be rung, which attracted crowds of people to the square. The witnesses were filled with wonder and awe. Many were in tears. The miracle was attested to by an apostolic notary at the site and was documented in the day book of the Vatican of the Basilica. After this miraculous event, the Vatican began a public annual veneration of Veronica's veil on Palm Sunday for the next 50 years. During this time, the Vatican created drawings, effigies, of the Veil of Veronica. They were printed on linen or silk, usually 15 inches by 12 inches in size. Each image was touched to Veronica's veil, the true cross, and Longinus' spear that pierced Christ's side. All effigies were imprinted with a wax seal and a gratis stamp to attest its being touched to the sacred relics mentioned. There was also text placed at the bottom or back of the image. These images were diffused by the Pope in great numbers to the faithful across Europe, especially to those in France. A Frenchman named M. Leo Dupont was the recipient of one of these images, the Shroud of Turin. The Shroud of Turin is one of the most worshipped religious icons in all of Christendom. Upon his death, Jesus' body was taken down from the cross and washed by Mother Mary. Joseph of Arimathea then wrapped Jesus in a linen burial cloth and laid him in a tomb hewn out of rock. The shroud depicts the image of Jesus crucified with discernible impressions of his face, hands, feet, and torso. The bloodstains on the shroud are consistent with the wounds of his crucifixion, including the wound in his side when he was pierced by a lance. These details were not fully discovered until the invention of photography, which revealed the image in detail. Jesus' burial cloth is known as the Shroud of Turin because the shroud was safeguarded in Turin, Italy for 4 centuries by the royal Savoy family. In 1983, the Savoy family gifted the shroud to Pope John Paul II and the Catholic Church. Due to its fragility, the shroud is housed in a climate-controlled case in the Duomo of Torino Chapel. The shroud's last public view was in 2015. While no paint exists on the fabric, it is mysteriously infused with the image of the crucified Christ. In 1980, the shroud's authenticity was called into question during a carbon-14 test. The details are too elaborate to discuss, but the testing was flawed when it sampled a patch sewn by the Poor Clare nuns when it was damaged by a fire. Like all aspects of our Catholic faith, there was always mystery that can only be filled by faith. The Man of Menopause. Another veil exists in the Abruzzi Mountains of Italy, where St. Padre Pio bilocated to spend his last night on earth, contemplating the face of Jesus. It is located in a chapel monastery belonging to the Capuchin friars. This veil's fabric is made from byssus, also known as sea silk, and it is one of the most rare and delicate in the world. The fabric was woven from silken-like filaments secreted from the foot glands of pen shells residing on the ocean floor. Some scholars believe that the veil, known as the Man of Menopause, may be the sudarium that Jesus wore during his entombment. There is nothing conclusive about the veil at this time. Upon the discovery of this veil, absurd claims arose about the authenticity of Veronica's veil. Some claim that the Man of Menopause is the real Veil of Veronica. They surmise that the Man of Menopause was stolen from the Vatican centuries ago, and that the Vatican is holding a fake. There is no proof of this whatsoever. Others deny the existence of a Saint Veronica at all. In 2000, Father Pfeiffer blatantly denied the teaching of the magisterium of the Catholic Church when he erroneously claimed in the book Il Volto Santo di Manapello by Edazzini there have been attempts to remove the sixth station from the way of the cross, inasmuch as modern theologians don't believe any more in the existence of a woman with the name of Veronica who would have given her veil to Christ in order to wipe his bloody face during the ascent to Calvary. These statements are very sad, especially coming from a Catholic priest. Hold firm to the doctrines of the Catholic Church. Don't let anyone rob you of your precious faith. Use the mind that God gave you. Look within. Ask God to help you to determine what is true and what is not. Summary of the images of Christ. Full body photograph taken of the actual Shroud of Turin as Jesus laid in the tomb. Close-up photograph taken of the face of Jesus infused on the Shroud of Turin as Jesus lay in the tomb. This image was painted by Celine Martin using a photograph of the Shroud of Turin. It took Celine, the sister of Saint Therese of Lisieux, 5 years to complete this painting. The true copy of the holy face of our Lord Jesus Christ, which is preserved and venerated very religiously at Rome in the Basilica of St. Peter at the Vatican. This copy was taken from original image on the Veil of Veronica, image of the Man of Menopause, existing in a chapel monastery belonging to the Capuchin friars. For more stories, please visit our website, www.pamphletstoinspire.com.